What is going on, guys? It's Walker Heckman here, back with another video. Today is another one of those tutorial type videos, and if you're new to ice fishing, or you just want to learn a little something about ice fishing, maybe you just want to compare what I do versus what you do, you're gonna want to keep watching. Today we're obviously talking about tip-ups, and I'm mainly going to talk about my Pike rig for my tip-ups, but I'm also going to dabble on brands, different types, and some rigs you could set up for different species of fish. Before we jump into this video, I want to say thank you. We're creeping up to that 250 subscriber mark, which is a quarter of the way to our 1,000 subscriber goal, and it means we are that much closer to giving away that ugly stick spinning combo. I'll talk more about that giveaway at the end of this video, but with that, I just wanted to say thank you, and let's jump right into this video. So as far as brands of tip-ups go, I mean, I probably can't even name all of them off the top of my head. You got the old beaver dams. I am probably going to catch some shade for not knowing how to pronounce this, because pretty popular brand. I pronounce it Frable. I pronounce it Frable, I think. You guys will probably correct me in the comments, but that's how I pronounce it. I think Clam also makes some tip-ups. I mean, there's all kinds of different brands out there. And I do want to say I'm not talking about jaw jackers or iFish Pros, any of that stuff. I'm talking about tip-ups. The old school tip-up that does not use a rod. I have not used that many different types of tip-ups. One that I really want to try out are the round ones that fit over your hole that are insulated. I think it would be very handy to not have to break ice almost every time you get a flag when it's a really cold day. Those holes actually freeze up really fast when all you have sitting over it is, you know, this little square piece. I've also thought about making some little round things out of some styrofoam insulation and plywood that would go hand in hand with the tip-ups that I do have that would do the same thing, but I just haven't got that far yet. So as far as types, this style right here, it's got the main spindle with your flag grabber deal up here. It's got a spool line on it. I mean, this is about as basic as it gets when it comes to tip-ups. Like I said, the round ones are slightly different, but not much. And then there's other types that kind of interpret your rod, such as the iFish Pro or the Jaw Jacker. I do not use any of those. I kind of wish I did, because I definitely prefer fighting fish on a rod. But when you're catching big northern pike, hand lining versus a rod, who really cares? You're catching pike. That just goes down to personal preference. So I wouldn't say this is my favorite style, but for the price and what I use is this style, and there's nothing wrong with this style. I know a lot of people will only buy the round insulated ones, but these catch tons of fish. Like, there's nothing wrong with this style of tip-up. I like the Frable or Frable, Arctic Fire, multi-species. They also make a Predator, which I've looked at side by side with this one. I actually thought that these were Predators, and they're identical. They're just different colors from what I can see. So, and I think they're like $1 or $2 more expensive, the Predators, so I don't know why that is. They seem the same to me. If you know why they're priced differently or have different names, leave that in the comments. I'd actually really like to know. So, obviously, a tip-up, you got your flag, you've got your main spindle here, you got your spool. I'm assuming you guys know how to use tip-ups. You just clicked on this video to see what rig I like to use, so please bear with me for this, but just in case there's any complete newbies, I'd really like to show how they work. So there's your spool line, you have your stuff, your rig dropped down below the ice. This goes in your ice hole, this sits on top of the ice. You've got this kind of plus shape bar right there. Once you have it set to the depth you want, you take your flag and you put this J bar on that bar in this little groove, and that tip-up is set. And then when you pull the line, this spindle will spin and your flag goes up, and then you go hand line the fit. So sorry that I threw that in there for any of you that are hardcore fishermen, but just in case someone wanted to know, thought I'd throw it in there. So down to the nitty-gritty on my tip-ups. What rig do I use? Now, something that kind of blows my mind is that companies are selling what they're calling the Predator rig. I can't remember what company it is, but I just saw them in the store. And they were going for like $7 or $8 per rig. So I don't know how many tip-ups you guys have or want, but if you had 10 tip-ups, that is $60 just for the rig. And they might have even been more than $6, like I said. But so I kind of made something similar, but something that is definitely more versatile than that rig anyways. So for main line on my tip-ups, I like to use vinyl coated line, not braid, because braid destroys your hands if it's warm out and you're not wearing gloves or thick gloves. And this line, to me, does better in the ice. Like, it doesn't freeze up as bad as braided line. I believe that I have 25 pound on all of my tip-ups. I might have 30 on some of them, but coming off of that braided line, I have a barrel swivel, and then off the barrel swivel, I have about a 24 to 30 inch, 30 pound fluorocarbon leader. I switched from to fluorocarbon from monofilament because monofilament doesn't sink as well, and I thought I'd like the stretch, but I have actually discovered that I don't like the stretch. I want to know as soon as that pike heads the other direction that I can set the hook, and with monofilament you have a slight delay in response time. And then, if you can see my rig there, I have an 1/8 ounce. I kind of want to up these to a 1/4 ounce for the size of bait that I use. Then I have 2 red beads, top and bottom. And on this specific one, I have a yellow bead on the way outside edges. After those beads, I have a clasp swivel. And then I have 2 12-inch steel leaders. And then I use these big, I can't remember exactly what size these are. All these hooks of different shapes and styles have me so confused with the number for the size. I'm pretty sure they're either size 2 or size 4 red treble hooks. And like I said, this rig is for pike. When fishing for pike, I don't mind a lot of red. I think they're kind of attracted to red. Could be completely false. I just kind of feel that way. So when this is actually down in the water and all those beads sink, this is the little contraption I got going on to kind of hide my weight and bring a little bit of attention over. And then, like I said, just goes straight down to my steel leader, and there's my treble hooks. I run 2 hooks on every single one of my tip-ups, and I tried running a 1 treble and 1 circle for a while. My hookup ratio has seemed to improve just using the 2 trebles, so this is what I prefer. The only difference between this and the Predator rig that I see, the one that they sell, is the Predator rig has these little blade spinners on them, and I'm not gonna lie, I mean, you can definitely comment below if you think I'm totally wrong, but I have no idea what those are for. Maybe if you use live bait, but a lot of the lakes that I fish, you can only use dead bait. But like, as soon as you drop this down the hole, I mean, there's a little bit of current under there, depending on your body of water, but those spinners are never gonna move unless the pike grabs it. And at that point, you're already in the freaking money zone, so I don't know about that. Another reason I like having my tip-up set up with this rig is because these are big treble hooks. And I can easily, without tying a single knot, swap this pike rig out by either removing my 2 treble hooks at that clasp, or at this clasp, I can take both those steel leaders off and just put a single hook. Say if I was gonna hook a live minnow for walleye or something, I can pop both those off just by undoing that clasp, put a new one on with like a fluoro leader or something with a single hook on it, and you're ready to go for walleye. It's that fast. No knots, just a simple kind of plug and play system. The only other thing I could see people not liking about my rig is this fluorocarbon leader. And if you use that braided main line and you're going for pike, you could skip this step probably. I mean, pike most of the time don't really care. They just want to eat whatever's at the end of these hooks. But I mean, especially if you're going for walleye or something, you definitely don't want to be coming right off of that braid main line. Not that you won't catch fish, but I think it'll look much better to the fish if you're coming off of a fluoro leader. And obviously if you're going for walleye or something, you don't need 30-pound fluoro leader. This is just for pike. I do also have a couple of these cheap polar tip-ups. These tip-ups work just fine. These are the cheapest tip-ups you're probably gonna find in a store. They come in pink, black, and I think maybe orange. And The main thing I like about these tip-ups, pretty much the only thing I like about them, is the price versus the Frable. But if you want to do a little get what you pay for scenario, this spool for your line on these cheap tip-ups, all plastic. And then another thing that I don't like about these tip-ups versus the Frables is this has an adjustment knob here and here, and that's because not only does this bend, but you can also change the height of this spindle, which I don't like. I think is very unnecessary. There could be scenarios, maybe if you were fishing 3 inches of ice and you only wanted this, you know, that far past your hole. Other than that, I think it's absolutely stupid that that moves, especially because these kind of suck and kind of loosen themselves up, and it's kind of a disaster. But I've definitely caught pike with these tip-ups. Definitely prefer the Frables though. One last thing I'd like to say is you don't have to use these colors for beads. The main purpose to me for the beads is to protect your knots on each swivel from that lead, because those leads bouncing up and down can destroy your knots, and those beads kind of give it a little soft plastic protection. But I have 12 tip-ups and they pretty much all have different colored beads. My main theme though is the 2 reds with some other vibrant pop and color on the outsides. I have some hot pink on the outsides. I have some gold on the outsides. I mean, I got a little bit of everything, but obviously you can use whatever color beads you want. So I think that's about all I have to say about using tip-ups for pike. Obviously, just buy what you can afford. They all work. I've tested all of the cheap ones for sure, and they all catch fish. They all do basically the same thing. Be sure to drop a comment below if you like the rig that I have on my tip-ups for pike. If you have any suggestions, put those in the comments below too. I'm always down to learn new things. I hope this video was helpful for a lot of you. I know when I first got started, I had no idea where to start with tip-ups, what hooks to use, do I need a leader, all that kind of stuff. But this is just what I got figured out best for me. If this video did help you out, please smash that like button. It really helps my videos do better here on YouTube. Be sure to hit that little red subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and to be entered in our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. As soon as my channel hits 1,000 subscribers, I'm giving away an ugly stick spinning combo. I'll put the rules in the description below for the giveaway. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and hope it helped you out. And as always, keep it wild.